In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the sales process again and how you convert a lead into an opportunity or an account or contact within your CRM online services or tool. This is again kind of our workflow. Every sales process has a workflow or some kind of process or steps that you take a customer through to identify a potential opportunity and then hopefully close. Within Microsoft's CRM tool, we have the ability to take leads and bring them into the tool, and they are potential prospects. And then how do we qualify them as we go? Put them in the tool through these steps that qualify, develop, and move the whole customer through the process. So there's some terms I just want to make you aware of. Lead is usually, or leads are prospects or potential opportunities for customers. I tend to think of leads as people who attended a trade show. Perhaps you ran an advertisement and now they are responding to an advertisement. These are not actual customers yet, but they are prospects. And then how do you qualify them? Every organization has their own steps on how you determine, is this potential lead a true customer? And then, of course, you have accounts, which in CRM is actually the companies who are your customers. And then contacts, which are individuals who are your customers, or maybe a contact that is affiliated with an account. So next, let's take a look at this process of taking leads. So here we are in my CRM tool. Now, as a sales rep, I use this tool every day. And in this scenario, we're going to take leads that were given to me as, let's say, prospects that attended a trade show called the NAB trade show. And these were assigned to me, and they are now listed in my activities section of the CRM system. So this is kind of where my little workspace, and I can go to activities, and it's going to show all the activities that I have assigned to me. And these are my phone calls, and these are the individuals that attended the conference. So my role is to reach out to these individuals and make a phone call. So I can drill down in individually, and it's going to bring me in to that individual contact. A couple things to look at here that I'm going to point out in the tool. You will have a lead. That is the definition of this contact, who happens to be D. Jones. His name is D. Jones. This is the event that they attended, and then of course their name. I can change this to, if I find out, oh, it's Donald. So I'll make those changes there. And here is his phone number. I have an email address. And Donald is affiliated with Starbucks. Now, one of the things as a salesperson, I usually like to find out as much information as I can about that individual before I go look for them or go have a conversation. One of the values of CRM Online is the ability to access information about this company through something called Insights. Now, Insights will be a little feed here. And Insights is a tool that you can use as a salesperson. I'm going to open this window up to go search for information about individual companies. So let's say with Starbucks, I'm just going to type in Starbucks Corporation. And Insights is going to feed this information right into my tool. And now within Insights, and I'll make this bigger so you can see it, I can get information as far as overview of the company, perhaps any news articles that have been published out there about the organization, maybe some acquisitions. These would be common news articles that are publicly posted out there. I can also find people. For example, I can find the chairman of the board is Howard Schwartz. There's also these other individuals at the C level. So now all of a sudden I have contact names of individuals. I can find out what the buzz is, which is kind of a term for, I guess, hearing news. So you can set this up so that it would get Twitter feeds and also Facebook feeds. So this is something that is included in your CRM Online subscription. It is for the customers in North America only. And so now when I get some more information about the customer, let's say I will give them a call and I want to create an activity, which is several things, either a phone call. So I can say I picked up the phone and I talked to Donald Jones. This is just my own mechanism for keeping track about our products. He is looking for solutions soon. Use this as kind of like a notes field or a section to record your actual phone calls or what you've done. Now the next section I want to talk about is this ribbon up here. This is what they call the business process flow. And this is kind of as you go from left to right. I'm at the qualifying stage. So I'm going to qualify this lead next. And there's certain categories or information that I have to gather. And this was all predetermined by my organization. And these can be changed. They can be customized. So for example, I can ask, is this an existing customer? Well, this is a lookup field because you notice there's a little hourglass here. And so the lookup field, actually you can put in the name Donald Jones and hit enter. And there was no person there. So he wasn't there in the organization, meaning he's not already in the database. But let's look at Starbucks. Let's put Starbucks. And Starbucks was. Starbucks already was in the database as a account. So I've got that existing. And that's kind of important because you don't want to create a new account if the account is already in your tool. Then you're just duplicating your data. Next thing that my organization likes is give me an idea of what the time frame that this person may purchase. So maybe I have that part of the conversation. Maybe identify there's a budget. And then what is their purchase process? Do they do it by individual makes a decision, or is it by committee, or is it unknown? Maybe that's something you're going to need to identify later. And then identify the decision maker. Yes, I'm going to say Donald is the decision maker because he's the VP of sales in his title. So I'm now gathering information and putting them under this leads entity. So next I'm going to say, you know what, this account is a potential opportunity. I want to be able to send this customer the next steps, which is perhaps product literature, maybe a quote for my products and the costs so they have an idea. So I'm going to say this is qualified. So I'm going to qualify this lead. And when I'm qualifying the lead, I'm actually changing the status of this individual and contact now into an opportunity. And you'll notice that now all of a sudden the workflow changed. It went to the next section, which is develop. So think about this business process flow as how do you do in the next step of your sales process, develop the opportunity, provide a proposal, and then hopefully close. So now this has been promoted or converted to an opportunity. Starbucks, since they were already in there in the database, the information self-populated. And of course I can change this. And so the title, so let's change the topic to needs 20 new coffee machines. That's going to be the name of my opportunity. And then in this page, I'm now going to have additional information to fill out or gather as I develop this relationship with the customer. Now, like I mentioned, what we're going to show you is how did you qualify a lead, and then how did we convert that lead to an opportunity, which we just did. And next, we're going to talk a little bit about how do you work that opportunity a little bit more. So I'm going to point out some things in the tool. So now here we are back in the opportunity, which I just promoted from a lead. And there's additional information I can input in here. For example, I can give a summary of what their current situation is, what their customer needs are, and maybe what the proposals or what kind of solutions or products I'm proposing. I can estimate a close date if I want. I can change the status of this. And as you scroll down, there's going to be additional places to put, for example, the shareholders or stakeholders. Think of these as your buyers, all the individuals who would be responsible for making that decision. Maybe I scroll down here and I have additional sales members or salespeople on my team that work with the customer to close this opportunity. And then maybe I'm listing the competitors. Down here would be the product section where I'm actually going to add a product to this opportunity. This is kind of important, especially when you get into um, actually creating quotes. And quotes are, documentation that you send to the customer that says this is how much our product would cost if you purchased from us. So you're going to have to next put in a product, and you can do that various different ways. You can set the database up where you have some price lists already established. So all they have the default pricing, and you just have to change the quantity of those particular products, and then it will recalculate that for you. And then you can also add in your discounts or your freight. I'm not going to go into much further about this, but this gives you a little bit of an idea of how you can initiate a lead and then move it to quote and then work it through the rest of your sales process. So we quickly talked about how you can take a lead that are leads or individual prospects implemented in or imported into the product, and how you can individually qualify them and put them into your own sales process that you have in your organization. I hope you found this video helpful.